Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory podcast here with Tad and Will. Here to bring you all exclusive, all intensive coverage of all 32 teams all season long, their stories, their highlights, their struggles. Here we are to do it. We're here to bring you another matchup today that took place in Week 14 between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Las Vegas Raiders. The struggles continue, Tad, for the Las Vegas Raiders. We've talked about it with teams like the Giants, the Panthers, the Jets even. Tad, I think it's started time to talk about a serious chaos that's going on there in Vegas.
But yes, there's definitely a lot of chaos, a lot of uncertainty. Obviously, the injury to O'Connell,
Which you hate to see, which
which you
which
hate
which
to
even,
see,
even
certainly.
when you yeah, you hate to see it as a Denver fan. I mean, sincerely, even as a Denver fan, you hate to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Just a lot of questions about what they want to do moving forward. We just don't know. I mean, they they're a team that they don't have a lot of. To me, it doesn't seem like they have a vision. Obviously, you need a new quarterback soon. Um, I mean, you have Brock Bowers. That's probably the one bright side on your team. You did do well with your first round draft pick. Other than that, just more questions than answers for a struggling football team here.
A struggling football team that really couldn't get anything going in the first quarter, though they kind of look like okay at halftime they could make this a game, but then
Hmm.
Baker Mayfield. Listen, yeah, Baker Mayfield. Obviously, you didn't want to see the two picks, but overall, Baker Mayfield, nonetheless, of the two picks, he finds a way to get the job done. 18 of 29, 295 yards, three touchdowns. And yes, Tad, where would you rank Baker Mayfield amongst starting quarterbacks in the league? I would personally rank him in the top 16. I'd probably rank him somewhere, probably the 12 to 15 range.
Probably. I mean, he's a very high variance player in a way that he's inconsistent. I mean, you can get a lot of good and a lot of bad. And you don't know what you're gonna
Actually,
get.
I would probably rank him, 16 to 20.
I'd say he's probably a top half quarterback myself. I think he's top half, but it's just there's a lot of inconsistency and a lot of question marks. But I mean, he's shown that he can win games. He can make plays. He's a gamer, if nothing else. He's gonna give you his all and do what he can to win a football game with the game on the line. He's shown that throughout his time here in Tampa.
Yeah. So with Bucky Irving being out, Tad, Bucky Irving, the RB1, Rashad White coming in as the RB2 and taking the carry load, 17 carries of 90 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, Tad, I was very impressed by Rashad White's performance in this football game. Uh, the third year player out of Arizona State, 120 carries, 509 yards, three touchdowns on the season. So a very serviceable running back there, Rashad White.
Yeah, Rashad White, the starting running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a very reliable player, and he's done a decent job this year. I mean, they have a very strong backfield. You mentioned Bucky Irving; he's been very reliable in the backfield. Sean Tucker does his
See, I
job
was
with
under the
all of
impression that Bucky Irving was the starter.
them. And a very interesting impression there.
Um, but I guess I don't know. Well, I mean, Rashad White's obviously the more experienced player, yes.
I mean,
But
they
to be
both
honest,
get a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
carries. They split it pretty well. I
That's
mean,
what
I
I
think.
was saying. Like, I mean, you could even say they share the starting role when they're both healthy,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
They both get a decent amount of carries. I mean, like I said, they have a very dynamic backfield. You can call on different guys on different nights. I mean, they all have their strengths. And like I said, Sean Tucker, he's no slouch in his own right, but the lead backs are certainly White and Irving in some combination.
Yeah. Receiving wasn't super flashy. I mean, Jalen McMillan did get the two touchdowns, and Rashad White did catch that touchdown. We were just talking about Mr. Rashad White. But yeah,
Mhm.
Jalen McMillan with two touchdowns.
The rookie.
Yeah, the rookie out of Washington Huskies. So Husky alumni. So far on the season, 70 catches, 204 yards, three touchdowns. So two of his three touchdowns were in this game. Easily the best game of his very young career.
Yeah, for sure. And then you also have the veteran Mike Evans with 69 yards receiving, always worth a mention there.
You're right. Yeah, the defense. You had some guys that showed out on defense. Obviously, Merriweather, sorry.
Mhm.
Levante David, of course. He's easily the leader of the defense, in my opinion. Levante David. He's their leader. And then, yeah, I mean, Tyke Smith, even, he had a solid game. So, yeah, it's a very good all around overall team. Good. It was just good team football played by the Buccaneers.
A big win, a win they need to take over first place in the division after falling behind for most of the year. So just they needed to come out, execute, play good, clean football, and for the most part, they did that.
Yeah, so next week the Tampa Bay Buccaneers they will be going on to take on the LA Chargers in an afternoon game on a Sunday. 7-6 Bucks, 8-5 Chargers. Honestly, that's going to be a really fun game to see. And then for the Raiders, it does appear that they will be playing Monday Night Football at home against Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be an interesting game because we all know what Kirk Cousins does on Monday Night Football typically. So, though in all fairness, last Monday Night Football game that Kirk Cousins was in, he did get a game-winning drive against the Eagles on the road. So, we'll see.
Could be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, yeah. So you got the Monday Night Football doubleheader there. Your Vikes and Bears, and then Falcons and Raiders. So should be interesting. Um, you would assume that Desmond Ritter is probably going to be the starter in that game too.
Oh, the storyline here, the former Falcon quarterback going back to play his old team.
Yep, yep. So, yeah, yeah. Desmond Ritter filling in to probably play there. They don't. I mean, I wouldn't even say Vegas really has. Well, I guess Minshew is their one. But yeah, Ritter here being their three, filling in now. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
certainly.
Um, yeah. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow all season long. This is the Gridiron Glory Podcast.